And yes, our next speaker, Chris Oliver, is a close friend. We go way back, almost 30 years. And Chris has been an industry legend. He's made millions of dollars. He's helped so many people. And what I love most about Chris is he likes to help people no matter where they are in the company. He doesn't care. But he's humble and he's very successful. He's also one of the best trainers, not just in the company, but the entire industry. So make sure you take great notes. He had an amazing training at the National, and he's going to give you some amazing training right now. Please help me welcome Chris Oliver. Chris, are you there?
Absolutely, I am, Jeb. Can you hear me at this time?
Yes, I can. Take it away,
All right.
sir.
Well, definitely. It's definitely a great job getting the opportunity of following a superstar in this industry, Ken Bollinger, and what he's been able to do. Ken Bollinger has definitely been able to build a business that have expanded nationally, internationally. And Jeb, man, it's great getting the opportunity of locking arms with you and everything that you do for this incredible company, plus leading up the titanium and platinum call tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that said, let me go ahead and kind of cut to the chase and jump into the information tonight, because, as we talk about it, it's always really about how can you grow your business. I think this weekend definitely took a major step, in the right direction, even though we've been heading in the right direction. Man, this was a big step to be able to simplify this business and get it back down to the foundations where if everybody can go out and just fine too. So with that, said, let's go ahead and jump into a few things. First of all, how big is your vision right now? When we start looking at what it is that we want to achieve with this company, where Savings Highways Global is going, you're only going to be limited by your own thinking. So if you believe you can, guess what? You're right. If you believe you can't, unfortunately, you're also right as well. So you got to be able to see the end at the very beginning. See where it is that you want to go from the very beginning, ladies and gentlemen. So believe in yourself. You got to believe in SHG, because as a company, remember, that track record is there. And then as I go through some things on the comp plan tonight, I want you to sit down and really internalize it, because if you're speaking with someone and they get ready to tell you about something else or what have you, ladies and gentlemen, if you know what you have your hands on, you know what the foundation this is, you know literally how much of the percentages are being paid out in the comp plan. Let me share something with you. There should never be ever a case in point to where you ever have to be embarrassed or you feel as though you're not on an even playing field. Basically, your playing field to me is above and beyond anything else that you're going to go up against. So when you look at this, also set you what I call SMART goals. SMART goals break down as you must be what? Specific in what you're looking at. It must be measurable, which means you want to have either the positions or the numbers that you're shooting after. Also, guess what? You want them action-oriented, ladies and gentlemen, and realistic, but also time conscious. So when you start saying, I want to go out and get mine too, when do you want that to happen? Do you want to have it done within the next couple of days? Do you want to have it done within the next week? Is it going to be in the next 2 weeks? What time is it going to be? Because if you say, well, I'll just get it done soon. Well, soon is not really a date on the calendar. And what happens is when you don't have it actually marked down, it will keep getting extended and extended and extended because you don't have a direct date. So in order to grow, ladies and gentlemen, we got to put a focus on it. So use the formula called be, do, have. Now, what does be, do, have mean? Most people operate out of the opposite. See, they want to have the success first. See, if they had the $20,000 a month, guess what? Now they're saying, well, I'll go out and do the things necessary and I will become that person. But man, if you gave me 10,000 and you gave me 20,000 a month, I will be this way. And as a result, they'll never have it because the be must come before the have. So what is being? Being is where you strengthen your thoughts. That means up first, you got to become that individual already who feels as though $20,000 a month exists at the very beginning. Next thing is you got to do the work that it's going to take. This is going to come down to taking action. When I look at my favorite team back in the 90s or what have you, was the Cowboys, and Emmitt Smith was the running back at that particular time. Emmitt Smith literally had just won the Super Bowl, MVP of the Super Bowl, I believe, and basically he talked about taking a break, but the break that he said was only a couple seconds, because what he talked about is you got to do more in preseason than what you do even in the regular season, because it prepares you for it. So you do, and you take action now, and guess what? You're going to have the financial freedom and all the flexibility that you want to have. So with that said, let's go ahead and talk about this titanium, ladies and gentlemen. So when you start looking at the compensation plan and you look at the benefits of it, see, if you really understand the benefits and you see the value in it, there's no way you ever going to have a conversation with somebody where you feel like you're outclassed, ladies and gentlemen. So when you talk about whether it's the travel savings, get the opportunity of using the savings. Oh, Chris, I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. You don't have to go anywhere in order for you to experience the savings. Well, what do you mean by that? Look up every particular area that you would like to travel to. So if you like to go to Hawaii, you like to go to Vegas, you want to go to Italy, you want to go to France, look up some of the different prices, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the different savings that you have. And when people say, well, if I use the travel engine, could I save money? You already have some numbers at the top of your head because you've looked up the actual vacations you're going to be going on. Remember, you got to see yourself in Italy first. Before I ever went to Greece, before I went to Italy, before I went to, St. Thomas and a lot of these different places, I saw it first, ladies and gentlemen. You got to see it first. Once you see it, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, you will achieve. In the savings portal, you're going to be going out to eat soon. You're going to be shopping at some period of time. Maybe you're going to take the kids out for bowling or a movie or what have you before you go to that movie. Here's how simple this is. Tune into your back office, log in, check the savings. Why would I do this early? Because you want some actual stories. When people ask you, well, how do I know I'm going to save some money? Your answer should be, well, I don't know. All I know is I went to the movies. I was able to save $25 at the movies using our back office. All I know was my Costco membership was about half the price of what it would typically cost. Also, call in for your auto insurance. Now, each one of these you do want to actually experience, ladies and gentlemen. And so get the opportunity of getting familiar with how to put your hands on it. Also realizing the bonuses that people are getting by coming aboard. So people are hemming and hawing about the money. See, as a professional, you should be able to articulate why that person needs to stay in the business. So if I'm talking to somebody, they say, man, a couple of $100 right now to get going or what have you. I said, well, hey, did you really know that, if your credit score right now is a 700, don't say if your credit score is 500, so you're telling them they got bad credit, but just say, hey, listen, if your credit score is 700, can you imagine the different options you would get by having an 800 plus credit score? Well, guess what? You get a $297 value just on the credit repair. Then you start looking at the 3-day, 2-night hotel. That is new, ladies and gentlemen. So when you look at it, we didn't have this a month ago, 3 weeks ago, what have you. So you could throw that in and people can experience that. The grocery savings right now, that's $1,000 on the table. So when you look at all the benefits, the Founders Live Conference Call Center, ladies and gentlemen, if you tried to hire somebody yourself, put them in position where they're going to make calls for you, getting a virtual assistant or what have you, it's going to be more than probably a couple $100 a month. It's going to be, $300, $400, $500 or more per month. So as a result, you're getting this built in to when you at work, these individuals are calling your new people on your behalf, walking them through the back office, walking them through different things that you could take advantage of. And now I love this particular part because when you have a vacation every year that you know for a fact that you could go on right now, guess what? That automatically ties a person in to say, hey, why should I be a titanium? Well, John, did you know that literally you're going to get that back just in the vacation, that you can afford a vacation at the end of not only this year, but next year and the year after that as well. But also by getting year 2 right out of the gate, we've already took the $199 down to $100 a month, ladies and gentlemen. When they go out and get two, John, what we're going to do is eliminate you coming out of your pocket with any money. So guess what? You really got a $2,000 vacation coming to you every year without you spending a dime out of your pocket. Now, when we look at this and we start to break down, how does the actual compensation plan work? How are these bonuses now geared up for you to win, ladies and gentlemen? So I want you to look at it. This is not a typical presentation that we're on, but more or less we're going to train tonight and look at it and say, okay, well, if I'm going out to build my business and I'm sharing the videos, and many of you know this, you should have just gotten an email or a message giving you the recording of the presentation that Steve Gresham did last night. I had a partner of mine, Sam Smith. He asked for it, and before I could even text back the answer to him, guess what? The recording had come out. So when we break this down, let's go ahead and really look into it. And this is something too that you got to learn to comp plan. Don't just come in here and say, well, you know, the comp plan is for other folks, but yet and still your goal is to get financial independence. There was never a time when I entered this industry back in 1987 with A.L. Williams at that particular time. First thing I did was study the compensation plan. If you're going to extract income for your freedom, ladies and gentlemen, you got to know where it's coming from. And so with that said, what's your first goal coming in? Well, my first goal, if I'm coming in as a titanium, I want to immediately out of the gate go get 2 brand new titaniums. So if you look at Adam and you look at Barbara, for instance, they get started with you. So how fast do I want to have that to happen? Why don't you put a goal on it within the next 7 days? So if you text out 20 or 30 people a day, and if you look and say, well, how can I text that many people? How many names do you have in your phone? How many names do you have as your Facebook friends? How many names do you have in your Instagram account? How many names, ladies and gentlemen, of individuals do you know at your church? How many individuals do you know who actually are teachers and pastors and principals, individuals who are coaches? How many coaches do you know? How many was in your graduating class? My graduating class, ladies and gentlemen, was only 47. There are more of you out there listening to me right now. Your graduating class back in high school was more than mine. So guess what? You have 300, 500, 700, 800 or more people just from your graduating class, not including the individuals that you went to college with. So you identify your first 2. What happens is any business that goes in, this was also what we studied, and I wanted to make sure it worked out that way. Any business goes in by midnight on a Tuesday night, you receive your bonus payouts on the very next Wednesday. So what happened, ladies and gentlemen, when we came in, and the first week we realized, hey, income started paying out. We've never had a week where we've missed a check, ladies and gentlemen. So you can put yourself on a direct plan and say, I want something happening in my income every week. So if I'm starting out right now, I'm sharing 25 text messages, I will have my 2 knocked out before Tuesday. If I do that, that means the following Wednesday, I'm receiving $100 off of each one, which equates to what? $200. Now, what also goals do I have? Well, Adam just watched me get it done. And by doing that, Adam and Barbara also watched me make a $50 consultant bonus. Now, I've earned in the comp plan, ladies and gentlemen, what? $250 because now I brought in 2 titaniums who came aboard with me. Now, the other thing I want to look at, ladies and gentlemen, is my next goal is to help Adam and Barbara go out and duplicate the exact same thing that I've done. Now, how am I going to get this duplication taking place? But first of all, letting them know, Adam, hey, right now, did you know if we hurry up and go out and get your 2, guess what? You're going to pick up a consultant bonus just by you getting your 2. So now we help Adam pick up Charles. Charles comes in. Guess what? You're going to get $20 for that. And Denise comes in. That's another 20. That means, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? You are now sitting at what? Back it up. $290 for you now also helping Adam to go get those 2. But in addition to that, while you're working with Adam, you're simultaneously doing the same thing and working with Barbara. So you're talking to Barbara about how to send her text messages out. Where can I copy the scripts? Well, you can go on the Quick Start program, ladies and gentlemen, on shgsuccess.com, which is our training site. You could scroll down that site and you could literally copy out the messages that you want to utilize to text a person. So now I got Barbara sending out messages. Barbara has individuals on the live calls. Barbara has individuals watching the recorded presentation. Erica signs up. Erica gets in business. Guess what? What happens to you? That's another $20 that you're going to earn now off of Erica. And she brings in Frank as well. With Frank, guess what? That's another $20. So now you're up to $330. But because you have helped two individuals, be able to go out and get there too. Remember, the whole concept is you get to and teach others how to get to and teach others how to get to. And as that duplicates, that could grow as much up to, $20,000 just between level 1 and 10. So you get to level 10, that's $20,000 in income. So by you helping them duplicate every time that takes place, remember, you're going to pick up a $50 bonus because you help Adam go get there too. So Adam is getting rewarded and you're getting rewarded as well. What happens also as you help Barbara do it, you're going to get another $50. That means that you picked up what? $100, ladies and gentlemen. So if you add it all up, just for you helping Barbara and Adam go get there too, and of course you had to get them into business, you've earned a total of $430. So you made $250 by referring to, and you made a total of $430 total by you helping them to refer to. So your referrals, ladies and gentlemen, people that you brought in, which is Adam and Barbara, well, they're excited. Why are they excited? Let me share some with you. They picked up $250. That means that their next month, monthly auto ship, guess what? That monthly is already covered because the $199 is already being done because they referred to. Also, they have an extra $50. So now they got a check that's going to be showing up. So guess what? I don't have to pay anything next month and I got some money coming back. That's a win-win scenario when you start looking at the comp plan. Now, I believe this is more duplicatable than what we had before. See, at the beginning, we had people going out to get, hey, I first go on listserv and get that 10 knocked out. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we had people to do it, but I believe that other people who didn't do it got intimidated or either just thought about this is a new business. Man, it's too stressful for me to figure out how to get 10 in. But I believe everybody could get 2. Now, if you believe that you could knock out 2 within the next, I'm saying 7 days, of course you can get it done faster than that. But if you believe that you could put 2 new people in, even if you were already sponsored 2, you may have brought 2 in last month or the month before, but those individuals may be a little slow right now. Maybe they're not on a training call like this. Maybe they didn't plug in to last night's presentation, so they're not motivated like you are. They don't have the energy that you have right now. So guess what? Go get 2 new ones. All of us, let's agree that if you agree with me right now that you're going to have 2 brand new titaniums by next Tuesday midnight, put a 777 in the chat right now. Just put a 777 in the chat if you agree that you could go out and get 2 at this particular time. All right, just drop a 777 in there. Drop 777 if that's you. If you're saying, hey, I'm the right one. Chris, you picked the right one tonight. I'm that one that's ready to win for my family. So when you start to say, I'm going to get a chance to get it done for the Myers family, for the Brown family, it is done. I'm putting my name on that. For the Hodge family, for the Jordan family. So if you start looking and saying, I'm the one that it is already done, that means that you already have the thought there. So since you have that thought there, my 2 are going to be in by this time on next Tuesday. You might not know where the people are going to come from. Some people say, well, how is it exactly going to happen? Sometimes how is none of your business, ladies and gentlemen. That means you just got to know it's going to be done. You start putting in the work. And what happens is those 2 pop in. And as a result, the earlier you can get it done, imagine now for those of you that say, Chris, I'm going to be on target to get it done within my next 48 hours. That means if you got your 2 knocked out in 48 hours, what are you teaching those 2 to do? The same exact thing. So if that is happening, what takes place now, ladies and gentlemen, you now have started on your path to 20 grand a month. Now, some of you said, man, I don't know if I can see $20,000 a month. Let me just give you a little past history right now. I remember when we got into a long distance business, and in that company, when I came in, there were 5 individuals that had hit VP, that vice president at that particular time, which was the top level. Well, at that point, I wanted to find out what were they making. You know, they were doing anywhere from 30 to 60,000 a month or what have you. And my thing was, okay, wait a minute, I can see it. I've never, at that time in my life, I was about 28 years old. I had never made 6 figures a year at that time. The best I've done was like 95,000. Well, because I saw somebody else do it, and I saw now it was real that people could make it, and you did not have to be an NFL player. You didn't have to be in the NBA. You didn't have to be in entertainment, ladies and gentlemen, but you could do it from the luxury of home. I automatically saw it, believed it, and as a result in that business, we ended up hitting in that very first year, ladies and gentlemen, the income hit 30 grand a month. So guess what? Did it happen? Yes. And guess what? Back then it was $495 to get started. I wish it was $199. I wish it was $100 or $20. All we had back there was $495. So can you imagine 2022? You started your path, and now you could build some serious financial abundance, ladies and gentlemen, just with getting it too. So what is that really going to look like? Let's break it down. You're going to earn $50 a month off of each one of your personal referrals. Everybody you personally bring in, that's a $50 residual. And now the people that they refer or that have been placed in your matrix, that's $10 a month off of each one of the titaniums. That even whether you referred them or you didn't. As it duplicates, we're talking about $20,000 a month. And what does it start with? It starts with only 2 personal referrals that you start with. So now let's break it down. On your first level, remember that you're picking up $50 off of each one of these individuals. 50 times 2 equals $100, ladies and gentlemen. Well, what happens as that duplicates down through 5 levels? Well, these 2, I take Adam and Barbara, teach them how to go get the other 2. There's 4 people here that you may not know these 4. Now, you and Adam and Barbara are helping these 4 get it done, start to duplicate. Somebody say, well, Chris, what happens if we bring in Robert and Robert doesn't want to do anything? Remember now, sometimes you're pushing a person, but they're like a wet piece of spaghetti. Well, Chris, what do you mean by that? Have you ever taken a wet piece of spaghetti and attempted to push it across a table or across a plate, and that wet piece of spaghetti is just moving all out of the way and it doesn't want to actually move in the direction that you're moving in? Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes if a person slows down, they decide they're not going to do it, go find somebody else. It's very simple. You don't have to stop at 2. So Robert slows down, doesn't want to do it. Instead of you calling Robert every day and Robert is not calling you back, guess what? Robert right now may be at a point in his life where he doesn't even want to answer a phone. He's at a low point right now, and he's so low he can sit on a dime and swing his legs. That means that he ain't gonna do nothing right now. So what do? You go find somebody else. Go find Mary. Go find Jane. Go find, Charles or whoever else it is, and you put them in position, ladies and gentlemen. And guess what? It's still being duplicated. So one person does not kill or slow down the goals that you're looking to do. Now, when you hit that level and you sitting at 5 levels, this could take 5 months. It could take 5 weeks. It could take a couple of weeks. It's up to you how fast that you want to have this to happen. But once it gets to this level, that's $700, ladies and gentlemen, a month in residual reoccurring income. If we were to annualize that out, that's about what? $8,400 a year residual income. Now, if it took you 6 months to do it, but you added $8,400, somebody else is in corporate America, they got approved by some other man or woman say, hey, we're going to increase your income 3%. Since you're making $70,000, your income just got increased $2,100. Which one of you do you think really wanted this? Your income went up by $8,400. You got multiple tax breaks and deductions. You got savings that you're dealing with your travel. In case your car broke down, you literally have that in place. Your credit score has increased, ladies and gentlemen. You writing off a part of your rent or your mortgage. You're getting mileage write-offs. You're getting your groceries at a discount. You actually got legal services in case you get pulled over. You now have an attorney that can represent you at maybe at a third of the cost. All of these benefits in place, and you got tax breaks and write-offs because you're a business owner. And if something happened to you, you can put this in your will where it could be passed on to your kids. I've never seen a man or a woman leave a good job to their family members. Think about it. Person, something happens to them. Ladies and gentlemen, in a matter of 24 to 48 hours, they already running ads on LinkedIn looking to refill that position that somebody just died out of. Why is it that, and I'm not knocking a job. Don't get me wrong now. I'm not knocking it. But I am saying, if you're going to spend your time and give effort to something right now, I'm 56. So I don't have 30 years. I'm going to go and start over and say, okay, let's build something up for 30 years. Ladies and gentlemen, why not put yourself on a 1-year game plan, a 2-year game plan? Because what happens once you hit the 6th level? Well, now you're looking at $1,340 a month that's coming in. That's over $16,000 a year residuals that you've added to your income. What happens on level 7? Remember, these 64 people now have looked at the examples of what these 32 did. The 32 looked at the example of what these 16 did. So these people who came in, now since they've seen all of this duplication, everybody is getting 2. What happens now is that these 64 go out and do what? Bring in their 2. As that happens, ladies and gentlemen, that's $2,600 a month. That's $31,000 a year residual. Why is that huge? The average person working a corporate America job today that's making $60,000, $70,000. After 30 years, their retirement is about $30,000 a year. You only bring home about 40% of what you make full time, ladies and gentlemen. So you've done if it took you 7 months, let's say every month this was happening. So in 7 months, you've done what it took them 30 years to do. What happens at level 8? These 128, they go get their 2. Well, now you're at $5,180, ladies and gentlemen. That's over $60,000 a year residual. Now, I want you to think about something right now. At $60,000 residual, how many of you right now, your attitude gonna change a little bit when you get up to go to work? You show up a little bit when you want to show up. When they ask, well, wait a minute, Chris, you get here, it's 10:30. Oh man, I'm sorry. Guess what? You late today. I said, no, I'm not late. I'm early for lunch. Lunch takes place at what? 1 o'clock? That's about time I'm here. Ladies and gentlemen, you could do what you want at that time because you started to get some choices because you understand the comp plan. What happens when those 256 go out and get five, their 2, that's 512. Well, now you're looking at $10,300 a month. That's $100,000 a year. At that point, you probably, if you hadn't already come home, there are some serious options on the table right now because you've been able to put away some money. So let's say this has happened for you the last 2, 3, 4, 5 months. You put away some money and you realize that checks are still showing up every month. This, ladies and gentlemen, is not including your 5 or your 10% check match. This is not including your fast start bonuses, ladies and gentlemen. This is not including your bonuses right now that you're getting through the end of December. So when you start, this is not including the 5% profit sharing that they're putting into a pool because you build on a team like this, you're becoming one of the top leaders in the company. And when this 512 go get there too, you had 1,024 memberships. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't know most of these people, but now you deal with 124 times $10. That's what? $1,240, ladies and gentlemen. When you start looking at just that level, when you add it all up, you're looking at over $20,000 a month. 20 grand a month, that's 240,000 plus per year. So you're sitting somewhere around $250,000 a year in income. Now, please tell me, at $250,000, how many people do you know in corporate America right now that you know that bring home $250,000? I'll wait. Maybe the vice president, maybe some individuals in sales, but most individuals don't bring home $240,000 a year in income, over $250,000. So what would happen if we took this and said, well, you know something? I brought in my two, but also, Chris, I put a third person in there, and that also duplicated down. And a lot of my people are getting three now. Why are they getting three? Because they initially got there two, found out that was simple to do. And since they started making money, people can tell when you're making money. People can tell when you're having success, ladies and gentlemen. And they start to ask you, hey, are you still doing that business from home? How can I get some information on that? So as a result, ladies and gentlemen, what would it look like if this duplicated by three? Now, we don't show this in the regular compensation plan when we're presenting on a Sunday night or a Tuesday night. But let me just give you a peek into this, because you need to know what the upside looks like. Most companies only pay out about 50% of what it is that they bring in commissions. In the coffee company, we knew when we hit $125 million in revenue, $62.5 million of that was going to be paid out. That's about a 50% payout, ladies and gentlemen. When this company is doing 100 million, 80 million of that is paying out. When we're doing $1 billion, 800 million of that is being paid out. So nobody should ever be able to convince you they have a better compensation plan than this. Numbers don't lie. Sometimes people may. Ladies and gentlemen, the numbers are the numbers. So what would three look like? Take a look at it. Do I even need to say what it is? When you start looking at, we're looking at the 10th level. I'm not giving you the 11th or the 12th level. This is just 10 levels over $885,000, ladies and gentlemen, a month. And before you say the word impossible, I've worked with a couple of partners in this industry that earned over $1 million a month. So don't tell me it's impossible. I saw people do $1 million a month in a compensation plan that only paid 50% out. So will this happen one day here? The answer is going to be yes. Will it be you? And guess what? There's an opportunity for it to be you. Well, Chris, I need to come in with some background knowledge in the industry. No, you don't. This is the one compensation plan that has even out the playing field. Well, I'm not big on social media. So what? You just need two. Or in this side of the comp plan, go get you three. Remember, this is not including your matching income. It's not including the bonuses, because there are bonuses, ladies and gentlemen, that get paid out all the way down through these levels when people are enrolling as well. Long-term, the residuals is what's going to get us wealthy. So when we look at it, what other things have been put into the same 10-level, compensation plan? Well, take a look at our fast start bonuses. This is what I was sharing with you. In order for you to maximize this, why we don't want to just stop at 2 is that you might look and say, well, wait a minute. I would like to receive income on my 3rd, 4th, 5th, all the way down through 10 levels. Well, ladies and gentlemen, go manager. That's 3 people. Go director. Director, you're getting paid these bonuses through 5 levels. Go executive, which is 10. You're now getting paid all the way through 10 levels. When you add up the money that's paid out, when a person puts $199 to get started on fast start bonuses alone, on the front end, $200 is already being paid out, not including the additional bonuses that's on the table right now through the end of December. Ladies and gentlemen, this company is paying more money out than what people put into it. Some of you are saying that doesn't make business sense. Well, ladies and gentlemen, how many of you have seen some companies that will start a business up and they already got $250,000, $1 million put aside for their advertising budget and marketing budget and everything else? They literally know that they're going to have to put more out at the beginning in order to build their company up. And then 2 or 3 years in the future, that is where they will become profitable. Our company says we're going to bet on us. We're going to bet on you. So that means that you and I, who are representatives in the company, guess what? We get the opportunity of having the benefit. The company is giving all the money to us. And they're going to actually pick that money up and become profitable in month 2 or month 3 or what have you. So don't take it so lightly that this is the way it's just supposed to be. In my 35 years, I've never had an opportunity where companies paid out more than what we put into it. That was never that choice. This is the first time that choice exists. Now, the other thing that has expanded is a 10-level commission on the Lowering Your Bills program. Why is this important? Because before, all we had was a level 1 and level 2. That means that if you personally enroll someone, they enrolled the business, they got paid on it, you got paid on it, nobody else got paid on it. So why is this important? Because this person who's going to bring this business in, remember when you brought in your 2 and it duplicated to 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. So let's say down here you got 64 people. One of your 64 went out and ended up enrolling $100,000 business, or let's say $1 million business, ladies and gentlemen. They enrolled a big, airplane company, or they enrolled a governmental, contractor, what have you, any big major corporations. That person brought them in. Do y'all realize you don't even have to know that business came in, but because it came in 6 levels deep, they're going to get the 10%. The person who sponsored them is going to get 2%. A quarter of 1% is going to be paid to this person, this person, this person, and now this is you 6 levels up from the person that brought that business to the table. And guess what? You still get paid on it as well. So just add some zeros to this. What if this commission that person received was $50,000? Well, that means that you don't even have to know what's going on, but you just got a $1,250 check just showed up. What if they made $500,000 off of that? Just continue to add zeros to see what this can add up to. Now, the health insurance to me is a big deal. My background when I first came in home-based business, it was in the insurance arena. We were dealing with life insurance back then, and later on, it actually moved over to where we dealt with health insurance as well. So I understand this particular side, and I hadn't had an insurance license in a long time, since back in the 80s, ladies and gentlemen. But I'll say early 90s was the last time. But here's what I do know. A lot of wealth can be made when we're talking about health insurance, because now you're not just talking about individuals, you're talking about corporations now. So if you went in and let's say that same person that signed up that major corporation that saved and did 100,000 or $500,000, what if that same person say, hey, Mrs. Johnson or Mr. Johnson, did you also know that we could possibly save you some money on your health insurance? Well, how can you do that? Well, why don't we actually get a quote done, and all you got to do is put that person on the phone with someone in our health insurance division, allow them to get the quote together for that particular corporation. And let's say that company has 1,000 employees, ladies and gentlemen. Well, guess what? Now, the person that brings them to the table, they're going to pick up 40% off of the commissionable volume. So that commissionable volume, they're going to pick up 40%. That's going to be paid out. Now, the person who brought them in is going to pick up 10%. The person who brought them aboard is going to pick up 2%, 2%, 2%, all the way through 10 different levels. Now, how big of a deal that is, ladies and gentlemen, you will have it where sometimes you're going to have people 8, 9, 10 levels deep picking up health insurance companies and lowering bills and bringing people aboard, and activity is going to be taking place that you don't have a clue is taking place. But the way the compensation plan has been built, it now is built so you and everybody else gets a chance to start receiving income, because remember, this person down here would have never been a part of SHG had it not been for this person, had it not been for this person, this person, this person, this person, this person, and none of this would have taken place had it not been for you initially starting it all off. So there's sometimes what would be people winning just because they got in early, just because they found their 2, and you may not be one day, you may not be a big time presenter. But guess what? I've seen people who really never presented that made 6 figures and almost 7 figures, ladies and gentlemen. They wasn't a major presenter. They were not showing the plan. What they did was plug into other individuals who were sharing the opportunity. So guess what? That's what you call win-win. Everybody is using their strengths and their abilities just like a team. When you look at the Golden State Warriors, Spencer, ladies and gentlemen, who just won the NBA championship, yeah, they got a superstar on the team, Steph Curry. But guess what? They got other players on the team that can deliver, maybe not at the level of Steph, but Steph Curry cannot win a championship by himself. That's why it normally takes 2 to 3 other individuals who play at a high level to win a championship. It takes 2 other individuals on the team who literally will defend and have other skill sets. And it takes people coming even off the bench. That means that they don't start the game. They only come in at certain times. But you know what's funny about the Golden State Warriors? Everybody on the team, whether they started or they were on the bench, they all received a ring. Do you also realize that the individuals who took care of their bodies, the individuals who are in management, the individuals who were actually trainers, everybody got a ring when the Golden State Warriors won the championship? So the other part is everybody can win in this if they put their head down, go to work, and make it happen, ladies and gentlemen. And we do have the most lucrative compensation plan that has been designed. All that now needs to happen is some of us need to maximize the entire compensation plan. So follow the systems and you're virtually guaranteed towards success. You know, if we got an average of 640 people in our cell phones, what needs to happen starting tonight? 25 texts is going out. The message is already on shgsuccess.com. Scroll down the site. You could literally put your mouse on top of it, highlight what you want to copy it, and paste it, in a Word document. Paste it in an email it to your phone, copy that now and put it into a text message, and you can send that right out. Postcards, flyers, business cards, you have that up on shgsuccess.com. Car magnets, put one on your car, and people many times will now reach out because sometimes people don't want to be obvious to go and stand in a line, or they're not going to walk up to you and ask you what you do, or do you have a way I can make an extra $500 or $1,000 a month? They don't want to ask that, but if they can see it on your car, they will call that particular number. 3-way calls, that's one of the keys that we talked about. 3-ways are key in business. Invite them to the weekly meetings. If you've had a bad day, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? You need the presentation. If you had a great day, the presentation needs you. So that means that every Sunday night, every Tuesday night, we've eliminated and came down to only 2 nights a week. Plug into them every week. Don't be on, okay, I'll plug in now, but I'm not going to plug in for the next 4 or 5 months. Inconsistency will kill you in this business. Use your social media. Also, you have leads that are happening, ladies and gentlemen. Many of you can get leads through the company. So get a chance to utilize all the tools that you have at your fingertips in order for you to succeed. And if you do it the right way, ladies and gentlemen, remember, this is doable. Look at the numbers. Make a copy. See, if I was you, I would either immediately download. I don't know if he's put the compensation, the PowerPoint out yet. It is going to be available, but I don't know if it's out yet. Here's what I would do if I was you. I would take now my phone, or I'm going to take my computer. I'm going to screenshot this particular slide. Now, why am I screenshotting this? Because remember, you got to see it first. You got to conceive it. So if you can see it and you can believe that you're capable of doing it, it is going to be done. So if it is to be, it's up to me. This is your time to step up. Remember, in the Serengeti, on the plains of Africa, in every morning, ladies and gentlemen, when the sun comes up, guess what? You got the lion is looking to actually outrun and catch the slowest gazelle. The gazelles, ladies and gentlemen, as they wake up, they're looking to outrun the slowest gazelle. So what's the moral of the story? Because the lion is looking for lunch and the gazelles are looking to live, the moral of the story, when the sun comes up, we all better be running. All right, so everybody, let's run. Let's go to the top. Jeff Tyler, hey partner, I'm gonna turn it back over to you. I took a little bit longer tonight, but I'm done. And I want to turn the call over back to you, man.
Well, I want to give it back to you, Chris. Amazing job. And what's so great about what Chris talked about is these are all the enhancements, which already was the best compensation plan in the industry, bar none. So not only did we add all that to gold, to platinum, to titanium, but we also just made the compensation plan more lucrative and easier to attain. We are going to experience so much growth. All I can share with each and every one of you, it is so important that from now till our next event in late March, early April in Las Vegas, that you run like you never have run before, because you will have financial independence if you go to work and make it happen. That's how lucrative this compensation is, and that's the unique timing of where we sit today. So I just want to give it back to Chris. Unbelievable job. I'm glad we have that recorded. I'm glad we're going to be able to share that with everyone in the Mentors Club call, because he broke it down so perfectly. With what Ken talked about earlier and what Chris talked about, they summed up the National perfectly. With the new announcements, the new enhancements, the new products, team, it's time to run. It's time to run like you never have before. Get on the train track to success, and let's go to the top SHG. I want to thank everyone for their time tonight. God bless each and every one of you, and we'll hear you on next week's call.